Coming up on City Spotlight, the focus is on Mattoon. We'll talk with Ed Dowd, Executive Director of the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce, about downtown revitalization in Mattoon, changes for the Cross County Mall, and new developments between Walmart and the interstate. We'll also talk education in Mattoon with Lakeland College President Dr. Josh Bullock about the 50th year of classes at Lakeland, new programs being offered at Lakeland. And we will remember former Lakeland College President Dr. Robert Luther. We're talking Mattoon next on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And thank you to all of you for joining us for this latest edition of City Spotlight. Today we are talking Mattoon, and in this first segment, we're going to talk about economic development. To help us out with that, we welcome to the program Ed Dowd. He's the Executive Director of the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to the program, Ed.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. It's exciting, all the different unique things that are happening in Mattoon. So
Excellent.
I'm excited to be here.
Not your first time, but your first time to the studio. We talked 2 summers ago, a very, very hot August day. I still remember it. So
yes,
climate-controlled studio.
It's a lot nicer. Yeah, it was a little warm the last time we talked. Yes, this is great, though. It's a great atmosphere.
Glad to have you on. And there's a lot going on with economic development in Mattoon, and we're going to start in the downtown, obviously where the chamber is, but tell us all the things that are going on in the downtown area.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We have so much revitalization going on in downtown Mattoon. On 17th Street between Hunan and Common Grounds, we have 2 new businesses just opening up. It's Sapphire Spa, and there's also the Wild Rose Boutique. Just great new businesses, established business owners, and we're thrilled to have them down here. We also have, next to Helms Chiropractic, on the block past the depot, we have Mattoon Flower Shop, which has been around for probably 50, 60 years.
Wow.
They are moving downtown because they're so excited about the revitalization down there. So we're thrilled to have them down there. Another new addition that we just, they just signed a lease actually. The old Bidwell's Candy Shop is now going to become, it's going to be Luigi's, which is going to be a fine dining Italian restaurant. So It's just great, all the different mixes and new businesses coming downtown. Can't be happier.
The dynamic of, and there's some in recent years, there's some new additions as well, Japanese restaurants. So
Correct.
Another place for people to eat in downtown Mattoon.
Correct. And what the nice thing is, downtown Mattoon at night used to be, just pretty much dead. Now we have a couple restaurants opening up. We have Artsy Chic Studio, so we have a lot. We're starting to get more nightlife down there, which is something we're very excited about. It's going to be great.
And obviously, we touched upon on recent Mattoon episodes the Heritage Park. So continued new things in the downtown area. You also wanted to mention Celebrate Downtown Christmas event that will be happening December 1st.
Yes, last year it exceeded our expectations. We had 3,000 to 5,000 people downtown.
Wow.
We have a lighted parade that's going to be exciting. We're expecting a bigger crowd, so it's December 1st, and we'd love to have everybody down to check it out.
Let's shift over back to the east and new ownership for the Cross County Mall. Let's talk about this exciting news.
Yeah, Rural King has bought the Cross County Mall. I think it's official either this week or next.
Okay.
And what we're excited about that, it's a local entity who's going to be owning it.
Right.
So they have more of a vested interest in keeping it here in Mattoon and growing it. The former owners were from Texas, and not saying that they weren't interested in filling it, but they didn't have the same vested interest that Rural King does. So Rural King is planning on moving their corporate headquarters out there, which will be great. We'll have 200 people in there all the time, and they're also really planning on focusing on filling it back up and giving better rates and things so that it'll be easier to fill up. So we're just thrilled to have them down there.
Well, there's 2 parties when you mentioned that Rural King, and Rural King is Mattoon. There's 2 people benefiting from this. Rural King is obviously expanding what they're doing, and the mall, like you mentioned, a local entity is. So talk about those positives for both Rural King and for the mall and the surrounding community.
Yeah, Rural King is growing so much. It's in this retail environment. It's unusual that a company is growing, but Rural King is growing. They're expanding all the time, different states and everything. And their corporate headquarters just weren't quite enough where they were located, their current corporate headquarters, so they wanted to expand. So they're going to be moving out to the mall. And they're also keeping their headquarters, and they're not changing anything there. They're just going to make it more more business oriented. So that's not changing. We're just adding additional resources to it. And if you're a retailer, think about it as a retailer. If you're thinking of coming to Mattoon and being in the mall, who wouldn't want 150 to 200 people at your doorsteps every day as employees of Rural King right there in the mall? It's a win-win for retailers, and it's a win-win for Rural King. So we're very excited.
Fabulous. Great news for the Cross County Mall there.
Yes.
Let's move a little further east, and more retail stores just popping up. We just have bunches of them already in Mattoon.
Yes.
And they can continue to develop. Tell us about the new mall west of the Cracker Barrel area.
Yeah, we're very excited with that also. Everyone's always talked about Starbucks, and they're finally coming. It's been a rumor for a long time. So there'll be a Starbucks, there'll be a Kay's Jewelers, there'll be a Great Clips, there'll be an AT&T center, and another center who hasn't officially signed yet, but we're thinking it's going to be some kind of healthcare development center. So it's great, you know, anytime we can get more retail. And Thompson Thrift, who has done a beautiful job with all their retail establishments, they're building it, so we're real excited.
Time has certainly flown by since Mayor Grover and Kyle Gill, when they were on, they were talking about just the start of the process, and,
yes.
and now it's coming to
fruition, and they're looking like it might be by the first of the year, it might be completed. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
So folks in Mattoon that are watching this episode, seeing this in the middle of November, it's right around the corner.
Right around the corner. That's correct.
Excellent. Still more development to talk about over in
yes.
that area of Mattoon. We obviously have the nice, beautiful new walk-in Sarah Bush Clinic there,
yes.
and there's some continued development there on Detro Drive.
Yeah, Copper Creek Cottages, which just opened up, which you and I talked a little bit about, a beautiful building. It's just incredible. If you get a chance to see it, you'll have to stop by. They're also developing a new business professional kind of mini mall, I guess you'd call it, right between them and the new Sarah Bush Clinic, which is going to be geared toward professional services. I believe a chiropractor has already signed on board, and they have 3 or 4 other potential establishments. So again, anytime we see growth, it's a fantastic thing for Mattoon.
Fantastic. Before we talk about a few other things, Ed, what does it say about Mattoon in the last couple of years? When we talked for the first time 2 summers ago, there had already been a bunch of businesses popping up, and some more. What does that say about the direction Mattoon's going?
We're just so thrilled. I'm just so thrilled that Mattoon is growing. You know, despite of the state and the things going on in the state and the budget impasse and things like that, Mattoon is able to keep steady and keep growing. You know, we're kind of just not letting the state bring us down. So it's just great that businesses are saying, you know what, we like Mattoon, we want to develop here, and it's just an exciting opportunity for Mattoon to continue to grow. So I'm thrilled.
Are there any projects that moving forward into the 2018 calendar year that you can speak of? Any other things there with economic development that you can speak of?
Nothing that we can speak of, but there are a few more things in the works. You know, again, you know, everything is exciting. There's well, I can speak. You know, quality of life is another big thing, especially with millennials.
Right.
And one of the things they're working on for the future is a really nice dog park that they're talking about developing.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled to have that. And of course, you know about the bike trail that's going to go in between Charleston and Mattoon. It's going to be paved. There's consideration for possibly even expanding it all the way out, possibly to Lake Paradise, Lake Mattoon.
Wow.
So there's just a lot of exciting things going on that in the works. So
Charleston was a recent Charleston
yes.
for a second. It was a recent hometown winner, the Governor's Award,
yes.
and that's part of their future plans that they've mentioned, that the bike trail from linking Charleston and Mattoon. So that's something very exciting to look forward to.
Exactly. We're very thrilled to be able to connect the 2 cities by a longer paved trail. Right. And this can bring people from Chicago for a day trip possibly. You know, who wouldn't want to, you know, have a very nice paved trail where they don't have to worry about traffic, and they can, you know, take a day trip and come down to our area and, you know, see the different areas and just enjoy the Mattoon and Charleston. So we're thrilled.
I've heard there's a large biking community in this Charleston Mattoon area, so
exactly
very exciting for them.
Exactly.
So we just talked about the Mattoon the mapping program. Did we just talked about that, or
a little bit?
Okay.
Yeah, the mapping program. What we're doing is the Illinois Institute of Rural Affairs through Western Illinois University. They are involved with what's called a mapping program, and what they do is they try to get a group of people together. We currently have 80 people from Mattoon who are involved with this mapping program. What we do is we try to get a diverse mix of people. So we have kids all the way from high school all the way to retirees who are coming together at meetings, and we are trying to figure out what we can do to improve Mattoon. We're going to come up with 5 or 6 different actionable plans that we think we can do to improve Mattoon. One of the things was the dog park we were talking about. Another thing is really developing our businesses and workforce development to try to get the jobs filled where they are right now, like LSC Communications, Donnelly's, which is formerly Donnelly's, right. Mars Pet Care. A lot of those companies, they don't have the ability to fill the positions they have now. So we're trying to figure out ways to really work with EIU and Lakeland to make people understand that these are great jobs at great companies, and we need to fill these positions and then possibly recruit other industries and businesses to Mattoon.
So open up opportunities for individuals,
exactly,
and businesses and companies.
Exactly.
Very good. In the last couple of minutes we have with you, Ed, and we
Sure.
appreciate your time here. Any upcoming chamber events that you want to talk about?
Chamber events, yeah, we have our winter swing coming up in, actually it's not till February, but we're very excited about it. You can sign up now. It's an event we have where we get probably 200 to 300 people, and it's kind of a fun event where you play putt-putt golf at different establishments, and it's just a way to break the winter doldrums. So we're excited about that. Our annual dinner will be coming up soon, where we pick the Citizen of the Year, and we're going to do a Small Business of the Year also this year, something that we haven't done in the past, but we think it's really important to recognize small business owners and small businesses who are the lifeblood of the community. So we're excited about that.
We're taping this here in beginning of November. Folks at home are seeing this in the middle of November. So the calendar year 2017 is wrapping up. When you get to the end of a calendar year, what are your thoughts, the excitement of what's transpired and also the excitement of the future?
Yeah, one thing that I'm thrilled about is our Chamber Bucks program, where all the money stays in Mattoon. We've gotten a huge commitment from the industry partners in our area. We're going to have over $100,000 that's kept locally through our Chamber Bucks program. That's, and it's built and it's grown throughout the year. And we're just so thrilled that they are investing, their time and efforts, and they think it's important to reinvest in the community. So they're giving their associates these Chamber Bucks to spend locally. So we're, like I said, $100,000 is a huge goal, and we're going to reach it this year. So we're very excited.
Wonderful things going on with the Mattoon Chamber, and obviously all the economic development and businesses.
Correct.
Executive Director of the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce, Ed Dowd, it's been a pleasure having you on City Spotlight again.
Thank you so much. It's very, very great to be here. And thrilled to be here.
We'll see you in 2018 to talk more about the Mattoon businesses.
Awesome. Thank you.
And coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll shift gears and talk education in Mattoon with Lakeland College President Dr. Josh Bullock. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Mattoon. And we're back here on City Spotlight as we continue this episode on Mattoon. We're going to shift gears from talking Mattoon businesses to education in Mattoon. And we'd like to welcome back to the program the president of Lakeland College, Dr. Josh Bullock. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it.
Becoming an annual tradition to have you on in the fall semester to talk about Lakeland. And it's an exciting year for Lakeland as it's your 50th class of students. Tell us what's been going on to this semester.
Well, interestingly, September 6th, 1967, the first students walked through what weren't even our doors at Lakeland College because we were spread all across Mattoon. We were in churches, we were in old shops, we were everywhere. So the first group of students walked in 1967. And so we're spending this year celebrating that group of students. We had our homecoming in October, which was a fantastic success. We had the Henningsons. Most of the folks know the Henningsons from the area. Nashville recording artists. They played our concert, their last show together as a group, and they played it at Lakeland College. Brian Henningson, the patriarch of the band, the father, Brian's a Lakeland College grad. And he met his wife at Lakeland College. So we were joking that day that really their family is around because of Lakeland College. But we have things set up throughout all of the remainder of the year, culminating in our 50th spring commencement, which it's been a really, really great time. Especially exciting is the Laker Fight Song. Laker Loyalty Fight Song was written back in the 1970s, and it was written by a Lakeland College faculty member at that time. And really not a lot was done with it. And it wasn't until recently we had the idea that let's bring that fight song back out. And so we were blessed to work with Dr. Horney, who's retired from from Eastern. And he helped us take that original song and put it into a beautiful piece of music. And that was recorded here at Eastern about a month and a half ago. And I'll tell you, I was there for the recording, and it literally made the hair on your neck stand up. It was such a beautiful experience. The students were so engaged in recording it for us. So there's been so much going on for our 50th, and we're excited to continue it on through the remainder of the year.
I have a personal experience and affection for Dr. Horney. I was a music minor here at Eastern when I was a student, and I was fortunate to have the tutelage of Dr. Horney, so I know what he was capable of, and congratulations on having him come in and work on that fight song.
Thank you.
So great experience there. Before we talked about former President Dr. Luther, let's expound a little bit about what your Lakeland and Eastern's relationship is and working together, you and Dr. Glassman. Talk about some of the things that you guys collaborate on.
We continue to collaborate on a number of projects. One that's just started this fall at Eastern was the Criminal Justice Program, where we collaborated extensively to bring that program to Eastern Illinois University in partnership with Lakeland. And there probably isn't a week that goes by that we're not emailing or texting or phone calling on, hey, we have an idea on this, we have an idea on that. And so we're going to continue to partner in that way. We really feel it's important to ensure students have opportunity here locally, and that those opportunities locally will get them to either go from Lakeland to Eastern or directly to Eastern, and hopefully stay here when they graduate, because we know we have a labor shortage and we have a lot of talent. We want to make sure those talented students stay in our area and to have those opportunities to gain a skill set here that fits what our local businesses' needs are. So we know more exciting things are going to come out, and hopefully this time next year we'll be sharing some additional exciting partnerships. Fantastic. Look forward to the future, and cannot stress enough how wonderful it is for Coles County to have two higher forms of education in Mattoon and Charleston. Great to hear they're working together. Lakeland is where it is today because of one of their former presidents, Dr. Robert Luther. He unfortunately passed away earlier this fall, and the things that he contributed to Lakeland are, we probably need a whole show to talk about what Dr. Luther contributed to Lakeland. First question for you, Josh. What have you learned from Dr. Luther and what you've talked with him over time? Dr. Luther, when I started at Lakeland College, the Board of Trustees asked him to be my mentor. And so I built a really strong working relationship with Dr. Luther and a friendship. We owe a lot to Dr. Luther. Lakeland College today, if you look at the number of buildings that are on campus, 8 or 9 structures in total have been erected in Dr. Luther's time. The campus beautification projects and enrollments grew exponentially during his time. The thing I always learned from Dr. Luther, first and foremost, is that our number one mission is to take care of our students. And if we take care of our students and give the students opportunities that, again, meet local need, that's what it means to be a community college. And every decision he made, and he really reinforced that with me, every decision he made, he asked himself, will it benefit the students? And that's one of the greatest takeaways. But what an incredible individual, very giving to the community. We wouldn't have Lakeland College as it sits today if it wasn't for his nearly 20 years at the college and what he was able to accomplish. Longest-serving president at Lakeland. You mentioned the number of buildings that were erected during his tenure at Lakeland. And one thing I have down in the notes here that we're going to talk about, he definitely stressed innovation with the staff at Lakeland. He did. Lakeland College is one of the first colleges in the state of Illinois to do online learning, and it was because of Dr. Luther. Computers had just come out. They were really starting to get to the point where they were getting on people's desks, and he said, why don't we start looking at this as a tool for students to learn? And so we were one of the first. And if you look at everything we have from sustainability on backwards, Dr. Luther really fostered innovation. And that's something he taught me as well, is the importance of being out on the forefront, taking risks, taking calculated risks to make sure if you're going to try something, be comfortable with failure. It's going to take you 4 or 5 times to try something or more before you get something that really works and clicks. And so he did truly bring an innovative culture, and it's still there at Lakeland College today because of him.
And that innovative culture that has kind of developed over the years from Dr. Luther to now. Enrollment, what would he think about today's enrollment at Lakeland?
Yeah, we actually had a lot of chance to talk extensively about enrollment at Lakeland. Although enrollments have been down for us, and they were down slightly this fall, we far surpassed the state average for community colleges. And I think it's because of what we offer for a student experience. Typically, this year we had over 35% of the graduating class come to Lakeland. Last year it was 40. We know that by springtime it'll be closer to 50%. Of those students who go on to college, we're almost 60% of those who go on to college from the graduating classes. And so from his perspective, enrollment was critically important, but he also recognized that we're not an enrollment-driven institution, we are a success-driven institution. So it's not about necessarily the number of students you bring into the institution, but it's about the number that are successful and reach their outcomes coming through the institution. So enrollments are critically important to all of us in higher education, but more importantly to me is the success of the students who graduate.
And one thing that the success has been attributed to and your excellent enrollment numbers is because of your affordability and the small class size, and that's something you continue to emphasize.
It is. We froze tuition and fees again, or so froze tuition this year for our students. And a student can attend Lakeland College all in for an entire year, books, tuition, fees, everything for under $4,000. And that's the 4th lowest in the state right now for tuition. Our tuition's the 4th lowest in the state. And it's important for us to keep it that way. We know there's a lot of rural poverty throughout East Central Illinois, and our goal is to make sure that every student has the opportunity to get an education, if that's what they desire.
Let's talk a little bit, have you talk about Explore Lakeland. Tell us about that, please.
Yes, the Explore Lakeland program was established to help reach out to those adult students. We know the 18 to 24-year-old students are adults, but these are really the students who've been out of education for a while or have not participated in education. We have an event on November 28th at the Cluthe Center in Effingham and November 30th on campus in Mattoon. And it's a chance for adult students, those who have been out of school for a while, to come back and learn about Lakeland. Just with an environment that there's no pressure. They can come in and talk to faculty, they can talk to our recruiters, they can see what's available. And the good news is for those students who qualify, if they come to the event, we will give them a credit hour tuition remission for up to 3 credit hours. Wow. So they can take a class at Lakeland College tuition free. They can try it. If they're hesitant and they don't want that risk, they can come to the event, learn about what we have to offer, and try a class on us. So those will be really good events for anybody who's out there just thinking about going back. And I'll tell you, about 64% of our students right now are over the age of 24.
Wow.
So we often hear from somebody, gosh, I'm too old to go to college. You are never too old to go to college. Many adult learners, we've had students that are in their 80s that are back at Lakeland College taking classes to learn, just because learning is part of their life.
So you get a wide variety of students, ages.
A wide variety.
Excellent. Can't not talk about Lakeland with you about the new programs. Every time there's, what new programs are going on at an institution like Lakeland or Eastern, for example. Tell us about the new programs at Lakeland. We
have a number of new programs at Lakeland, and the interesting part is when we develop a program, because we're so community focused, we look for that immediate community need. And so for us, we've got 3 programs that we're really proud of that have been launched. Medical assisting. As we've talked with local clinics and hospitals, we realize there's a tremendous need for medical assistance. And there really was not an area of service in the community from any of the colleges. So we decided, let's work on that. And we started our medical assisting program this fall. One of the others is telecommunicator. So all those dispatchers, I never realized what a shortage there is of 911 dispatchers. And it's a skill set that requires really a tremendous skill set, and somebody who has a very mellow disposition and demeanor to handle that level of stress. And so we've worked with our counties to say, let's put a program out there that's going to help with that. And then we have new programs such as our welding program in Effingham. Right. That program is for adults. It's you can come to class twice a week during the week, and then you spend evenings at Effingham High School, where we've invested with them on a beautiful welding lab used by the students during the day and used by Lakeland College in the evening. And we know there are jobs readily available. Right. And those jobs start out paying a very good wage, a very livable wage. So if you can come in and take those programs and start with one of the employers, you can be onto a good livelihood.
From new programs to new physical things we'll see at Lakeland. What we're going to be seeing at Lakeland?
Lakeland, we've improved the campus quite a bit, and we're actually at this point in time working on a capital development process as well with our Board of Trustees. But proud of our new Veterans Park. If you drive onto campus, just adjacent to the John Deere Tech Building, or Ag Tech Building, is a beautiful new park with walking paths, with flower gardens, with trees, and that was a generous donation by the Podestas. Okay. Willie Podesta Young, who is the daughter of Dr. William and Margaret Podesta. Dr. Podesta was one of our trustees back in the early days, and most people don't realize Lakeland College is built on a good chunk of Podesta land. And so it really fit well to have that park as part of our new facility. So that, just a lot of good things going on with facilities around the campus. We try to maintain the beauty of the campus. If you have not been out there, I encourage people to come out and just walk the grounds. 320 acres of beautiful grounds to walk with a lot of walking paths and a lot of things to see.
All right, in the final minute or two we have with you, Dr. Bullock, let's talk about some of the accolades that Lakeland has received recently.
We were just notified about a month ago that we were nominated as one of the top 150 community colleges in the nation by the Aspen Institute. And that for us is much like Eastern with the U.S. News and World Report. That is the creme de la creme of recognition for community colleges. It only happens once every 2 years. Okay. And out of the 2,000 community colleges in the United States, they recognize the top 150. So that for us is really positive. We continue to be recognized for the 6th year in a row by the Center for Digital Education. We were recognized as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation for use of technology to enhance the student learning experience. And so that for us is, again, it speaks to who we are as a community college and being innovative and technologically advanced. We now have every student who comes into Lakeland College has their own virtual machine. They can log in anywhere from the world and even do their lab work. If they're working on a CAD system, they can do their CAD system work right from their laptop at home. So that's part of that recognition. And we continue to be one of the top 100 community colleges in the nation by CNN Money. And so you couple that with what we have at Eastern Illinois University as being one of the top regional universities in the nation, as recognized by U.S. News and World Report, and you can't help but believe that our region, Coles County, is so poised for growth and prosperity because we have these fine institutions here that are available to our residents.
Higher education is obviously doing very well locally here in Coles County, and congratulations to the 50th class here at Lakeland, and here's to the best of the next 50 at Lakeland.
I may not be there for the next 50, but hopefully.
Thank you for all your comments today. The president of Lakeland College, Dr. Josh Bullock, we appreciate your time here on City Spotlight.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And that'll do it for this episode here on Mattoon on City Spotlight. We thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.